Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another live edition of Jacob's Ladder. I'm your host, Jacob Israel, and I'm glad that you're all here. I hope that you have already hit that like button, and I hope that you are fired up because the book of Revelation is coming true right before our eyes. Babylon is fallen. Babylon the Great, which means confusion. And we have been so confused, have we not? Lot of big news going on right now. I'm glad that everybody's shuffling in. I see everybody here already. Cass, Brad, Landon. Got a lot of the channel members here. People from Patreon. People that smashed that like and share. Oh, Babylon is fallen indeed. You probably heard that there's some news going around about judgment and sentencing. If you're new to my program, I welcome you. Get ready to be a little amazed. Things are going to get very strange. And why do I say this? Well, because the people that we're going to be talking about today, we were talking about years and years ago. And now we see people that are at the heights of, we'll say, Christianity. They're now probably revealed to be not the kind of people you want leading your family or your kids. Pastor Robert Morris, the mega pastor, he has been sentenced. And he's been charged on 5 counts. 5 counts. That's a picture of him right over the word fallen. And it's no wonder. This is the day that we're in, okay? This is the day that we're in. Let me switch over to this and let me show you some of this stuff. Before I get into Robert Morris and everything else, I have to play this because this is what President Donald Trump posted, using, of course, that very famous song, making a little bit of a joke of the Grim Reaper. And as I just kind of play this down, you can just take a look at this. It was a little bit of a goof. Of course, they're trying to own the Dems, as they say. And here he is. Give me more cowbell. Give me more cowbell, President Trump. But this is interesting because, of course, the Grim Reaper is, known for a little bit more than you think. The angel of death, that spirit of darkness that destroyed all of Egypt right before Israel was set free. The angel of death swooped in and destroyed all of the firstborn in Egypt, which, by the way, is very symbolic, probably literally happened, but we're meant to understand it spiritually. So now we have this angel of death appearing yet again. But this is interesting because the Grim Reaper always symbolizes a judgment, a coming of age, if you will. It's time. You've been weighed in the balances, and now we're coming to collect. You remember the meme of Elon with the sickle going from door to door to door? Well, now you have President Donald Trump doing the same thing. And thank you for the super chat, Peanut. So good to see you. So good to see all of you. We got a lot of people here already. If Joseph Newhouse is here, if Joseph's here, we can get started. All right, let me just show you something that I find really interesting, okay? This little thing right here that everybody's kind of making a big deal out of, just take a look at that. The new Grim Reaper themed AI music video that everyone's hemming and hawing about. Well, exactly 21 months ago, okay, this is important. Before President Trump posted the satirical Grim Reaper video, I shared a clip. This is interesting and important from my Stone of Destiny video. And the Grim Reaper, of course, was attached. Now, how was it attached? Let me just pause this. Because you probably remember the Grim Reaper showing up at the inauguration. All right, just take a listen to this, and then we're going to get into a truly bonkers show. Do me a favor, smash the like. Let me also put this here. King Charles was just coronated on the Stone of Destiny, Jacob's pillow. And besides, of course, the fact that the Grim Reaper showed up, which has everybody talking, there's a lot that needs to be discussed. It happened on an eclipse in Scorpio. Some say he is the Scorpion King, but the stone is important. A stone that's been beneath kings for many thousands of years. It's called the Stone of Destiny or the Stone of Scone, otherwise known as Jacob's Pillow. I've done video after video about this. I've studied it and researched it and followed people who, some of the best researchers in the world, have tried to track down the location of this stone. The stone, which supposedly holds properties that can unlock the mysteries of all things, as when the patriarch Jacob slept on it, he had a dream of a ladder going up to heaven, where the angels of God ascended and descended upon him. And he understood that God was in that place. It also goes by other names like the Holy Grail, and many people have set out on quests to find it. In fact, it was actually stolen by thieves once from the place it was securely kept. Christmas night 1954, Scottish students broke into the Westminster Abbey, the spiritual heart of the Commonwealth, and stole its most precious relic. The thieves broke down the door to King Edward's chapel. They reached the coronation chair and took away the Stone of Destiny, which was there and had been for 700 years. They left all of the jewels. They left all of the stones. They only left their signatures, JFS. Now, why would they leave all of this behind? Why? You probably remember this. You probably remember it because Jacob's Pillow is sort of an important thing. Oh, by the way, yes, smash that like, will you? And subscribe. The Scorpion King. Come on. The Grim Reaper showing up at the inauguration. Is it the inauguration? No. The crowning, the coronation. It's one of those nations. Thank you for the super chat, Bernadette. Wow. The Grim Reaper. But in that exact amount of time since my repost just makes me think, what is this Stone of Destiny? Well, it is Christ. By the way, that is the rock, if you will. So all of this bodes well. The Grim Reaper showing up, the Grim Reaper connected to that gets weirder, okay? Because just as all this is happening, we find ourselves, okay, with Robert Morris. Okay, Robert Morris, which if you don't know anything about his story, it's really pretty awful. Here's the weird thing, because I was the head writer for the Daystar Television Network. Yeah, it's funny, right? I don't know, how do you get there? From WWE to Christian TV to YouTube, to mattresses, to YouTube, then back to mattresses and YouTube together. It's a beautiful marriage made only in this place, thanks to the Lord. But here's the thing. My company, the ones that I worked for, the Lambs at Daystar, well, they fired me. And you probably heard about all the terrible things that happened to them. They've had their families been torn apart. It's devastating. I was one of the only people that really kind of came to say that maybe there's more to this story than people are saying. But here's the thing. They fired me, right? I had sour grapes. I had hurt feelings. I kind of warned them before I left. I was like, I was on my high horse. I was a holy roller. I'm like, you don't know, if you don't get your act together, the Lord is going to so-and-so. And, it was really kind of sad because that they've had some bad things happen to them. The owner of the network, he's passed away. And, of course, then, his wife, who's my old boss, I wrote for her talk show. We won Emmys. I mean, it was a really great show. I know the family. I've always been rooting for them and praying for them. But it's weird because Robert Morris, this pastor, was their pastor. Their pastor. So they're a very large, Christian organization. I mean, probably not the same, not their pastor anymore. I'm sure that's been sorted since all the allegations rolled out. But these are allegations that have been around for a long time. I've covered this so long so that, this happened when he was probably in his late 20s. And he abused a young girl, and over and over again did this. You know, they had brought this young pastor and his wife into their home, and then everything was swept under the rug because they made a deal. He supposedly went and got therapy and all that. But today he's going to jail for he's got 10 years, but he's got like 6 months where he serves. Then the rest is deferred. He's on probation. He has to register as a sex offender. You know, so a lot of people saying he's gotten off very light. Well, here's what's weird is that I did a show. I did a show about him before he was even arrested. I'm going to play this clip for you because it's really strange how all of this happened. And, you know, here we are today. And yet again, another one of these corrections kind of come to pass. It's interesting. Take a listen. Mega X Gateway Pastor Robert Morris turns himself in to the jail for abuse that he inflicted upon a 12-year-old girl for 4 years.
At Gateway Church in South Lake, a woman has come forward alleging Morris sexually abused her as a child for 4 years, starting in 1982. In response to the allegations, Morris reportedly told the Christian news outlet he engaged in inappropriate...
Huge news today. In Christianity, people are becoming more and more aware of how corrupt the system is. But this isn't something that's new. You know this. 9 months exactly before this news came out, well, I did a little video basically saying if he's going to be corrupt and put the jail right behind him there, as you can see. Very interesting thing. But it's about to get more interesting, so I hope you're buckled up. That's something, right? And it's just, you know, you think about this, and it really kind of makes you feel like, well, maybe there's more to the story. So what's interesting is yesterday I put this little post out. Okay, I had been feeling like today was going to be a big day. I didn't know exactly what it was. I was just kind of excited about it. I knew that it was something concerning kind of correction and judgment, but I didn't know exactly what. And then here we are. So now this is what's wild. Okay, let me just read this to you. Okay, I'll read it to you as I'm looking at you so you can see it. Okay, so like I wrote this post. It says test complete. I said fallen prophecy. P. Diddy set to be sentenced, okay? And he's looking at, by the way, he's looking at like a lot of time, like 11 to 14 years. The judge said that he's showing no remorse, okay? That's not right, right? Especially he's telling people on, you know, social media and stuff that he's like a born-again person. His children are trying to come to his aid saying, I've seen a difference then. We don't even know exactly what his sentence is, but this is justice. He's already convicted. Now, it may not be heavy terms, right? Like this guy, Robert Morris, his terms weren't that heavy. He'd pled guilty. He's got 6 months in prison for doing this, right? That's it. Now, you know, ironically, David used 5 stones. He had 5 charges, okay? Christ had 5 wounds. We have 5 senses: sight, touch, taste, smell, hearing, right? Sound. 5 wounds. 5. Very significant number. But what's weird about this is I did that video that you just, let me show this to you, okay? Show this to you. I did this video that you're looking at right here called The Fall of Saul. And you could take a look at it right there, because this is the video that I did. And it's the video that I did a long time ago, okay? We're talking like 14 years ago, okay? And this whole video was me really coming against. I knew that I was about to be let go. I knew it was happening. And this was my, you know, you can watch it on X if you want. I can't play it here because it has music that, you know, at the time I could use, but you can't use anymore. But this was the thing, you know. I'd said, you guys got to get your act together. This is it. Because if you don't, you're going to end up falling with Saul. Now, these were during my scared to be seen days. You're probably wondering why it looks so weird. That was because back then I was scared to be seen. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing is that was from exactly 14 years, 8 months, and 11 days. Revelation 14. That's the chapter. That's the 144,000. This is when Babylon falls. This is significant. And the fact that it's coming out in these numbers here, I think, oh, cool. But I didn't know that it would do the same thing with P. Diddy. Exact same chapter and verses. It's very strange. But here, so here we see, this guy. I had a feeling, that he was going to end up paying the piper. I had a feeling that it was coming. I said, justice was coming. Justice for the people is coming. You're going to fall. Saul's going to fall. The kingdom's going to fall. I said, the religious system's over. That's what I was saying. I said, people, this is going to come a time when people are just going to be like, I want to know God myself. That's what God is looking for. He's not looking for you to go door to door saying to people, you got to know my God. He's not looking for you to go to this church or that church to get baptized or not get baptized. That's not what God is. The word baptism, by the way, means to be immersed by. You're being immersed by the words of God because the water is the word of God. So as I'm speaking to you, you're being baptized. It doesn't, you have to go get literally dunked. Jesus just said, suffer it to be so, because that's the way we thought things were when we're brought to someone like John the Baptist, who didn't even really trust that God was God. It's a symbol of the religious system that has to come to an end. John the Baptist gets his head chopped off. Why? Because he didn't know Christ when Christ was here. This is an issue because this is the same thing that we see in the religious church because they don't line up with what scriptures say. They teach things that are untrue. That was what my video was about. My video from 14 years, 8 months, 11 days ago, which just happens to be, let me just, I'll read this to you and I'm getting a little worked up. Sorry about that. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she's made all nations to drink of the wine of her fornication. And the third angel followed him, saying in a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receives the mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of indignation. That's what they're receiving. They're getting their cup of indignation. And he shall be tormented. That word torment, by the way, it just means to be tested and tried. The word it's basanios, I think, in Greek. It means to be tested by like a pure, this is how you find pure gold. You take it and you strike it against this really rough rock and it'll tell you how pure it is. With fire, which is a cleansing, right? Fire purifies. Christ is a consuming fire. And brimstone, which is soap, in the presence of his holy angels, which are messengers, people that are sharing the truth of God, in the presence of the Lamb, which hopefully is within all of us. And the smoke of their torment, their testing, right? And the smoke, by the way, are the tears and their cries. This is all found in Scripture. And they have no rest day or night who worship the beast in his image. Now, tomorrow, big day coming tomorrow. Now, here we are, and it's today. Today. And we see and hear about this justice that's now come on the church. But not just the church, the government is shut down. Babylon is fallen, just like Rastafari is saying in the live chat, by the way. Thank you, everybody. Hey, everybody, thank you for hitting the like, too. I love when you hit the likes. It makes me feel good because then more people come and they watch. So this is an interesting thing. Because when I thought about P. Diddy, let me get back to that now. Let me show you that. Let me see if I can even find it. Here we go. He's saying that he's born again. I said prosecution and defense, they're sparring over the length of the sentence, okay? And now here's the deal. The defense asks for less than 14 months. Then prosecution is seeking more than 11. That's Revelation 14:11. Smoke of their torment ascends up forever. This is it. This is the whole thing. This is the whole thing. You know? he had a lot of his higher end charges dropped. So you wonder if maybe he spilled the beans on a bunch of people. You watch a lot of other people maybe come out and get in trouble and get brought to justice. You can have it, or you can have it another way, right? If you do wrong, you're going to get wrong in return. If you do right, it may be difficult. It may not be rewarded overnight, but it will pay off eventually. This is the way it works. I've been in this game a long time, right? This kooky world that we're living in, this wild matrix that is spun out of control. I've been doing this a long time. I've been on YouTube since 2008. Not like I'm some, guy shouting into the void, but I've been saying it's coming. Here's correction. Have you noticed the government's not like the government used to be? Do you feel like maybe now we're entering into a time of more of a totalitarian type of a reign? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because a lot of people have been asked, would you rather have Trump as a dictator, or would you rather go back to the way things were? And a lot of people were like, I'd rather have this. God places everybody in charge, everybody in charge. Now, I understand, his social media game, President Donald Trump, it is off the charts. But he posted a Grim Reaper, 21 months after I shared a video about the Grim Reaper that came over the Church of England. And here we have now the Church of England. You're just going to get a lot of you upset, okay? How many people in the live chat? I want to have a little participation, okay? I'm going to give you a second to get into the live chat. The question is, how many of you think that a woman can be a pastor of a church, or say the Pope? How many of you? I want to see in the, I'm seeing a lot. Thank you. Another huge super chat from Peanut. And thank you, Cat Dad Conspiracyist. I appreciate it too. Thank you. Yeah, I get a kick out of everybody. I get so many wonderful comments, and I get so many people saying so many nice things. It's very, I should say, rewarding to do this, but at the same time, it can be kind of frustrating because I've been doing it a while, right? And people are still a mess. So like a lot of people are saying, no, I'm getting a lot of no's. I'm getting some yups. I'm getting yes, no, yes, nope, never. No woman should preach. The Blue Oyster Halo is saying hi. Okay. No, no, no. A lot of no's. A lot of no's. A lot of no's. And I've taught on this. I mean, I don't know how you have a problem with a woman in leadership. God didn't seem to have a problem with that. I mean, he only put a woman over Israel to judge. And guess what? If you're with the Church of England, doesn't matter what you think anymore, because there's a new archbishop. And guess who it is? A woman. You guys going to rub your noses in all of it. You watch. You guys going to hold on to things? You think that men and women are somehow different? You think that God made man in his image. In his image made he them, plural word, and called them, plural word, Adam. Male and female made he them and called them Adam. Male and female is Adam. Eve is like our intellect. It's the breath of life. It's not good for man to be alone. We're all one. Male and female, the same. There is no separation or division in Christ. There's no male. There's no female. And you're all going to say no? Well, you know what? Don't go to church. That's fine. I'd rather you not anyway. I'd rather you go to God. I'd rather you ask God these questions. Now, I gotta play something for you, because this is quite interesting. Let me get rid of P. Diddy here. And let me go right into, before I get into Nick Sorter, let me get into this right here. Okay, this is the new woman, the one who has been named. She is now the head of the Church of England, which was created by, you probably remember, the guy who never ate a big turkey leg in a painting, King Henry. Well, the Protestant Church of England has appointed the first female Archbishop of Canterbury as his leader. King Henry VIII's creation proving what I said would happen 1,303 days ago. Sarah, by the way, her name means princess. Malali, I guess is how you pronounce it, ruler of the speckled. Give me your speckled sheep. You don't want women to rule? You don't want them to be in charge of your church? You send them over to me. I'll take the speckled. Let them. I'll tell you what, my wife leads me spiritually many days, many nights. To think that God is going to limit his creation. Spiritually, God is not a man, a four-footed thing or anything else. This is in Romans, which is a very mistranslated and misappropriated verse about the reprobate mind. God is not something that you can see. It's not something that's tangible. And God doesn't look to the outward man. He looks to the heart. If you believe in Christ, then you have to believe Christ's words. So even if you don't think that a woman should run a church or be the head of a church, guess what? Doesn't matter what you think. And you're going to get all hoity-toity and upset about it? Okay, go tell your wife that when you go home. You're not good enough to do what God wants. See how foolish that sounds? Sounds foolish. But I've been teaching this forever. And listen, you don't have to be on board with it. I'm not saying that this lady is anything great, by the way. Some people are saying that she's pro-life. Her stance on that has been pro-life. And it's kind of a shame. But you know what's interesting is that I, of course, did a whole thing where I said, you watch, it's gonna happen. You don't want to see a woman in charge of a major Christian religion? It's gonna happen. You're gonna have a woman in charge. And guess what? Now today, boom, here, it happened. So I guess maybe y'all should rethink these things. Let me see if I have the actual, I may have to pull it up. By the way, this is true too. Right here, the only real enemy we face is the negative one in our head trying to get us to create a negative experience in the future. Non-stop grind for a reason. Ruling and reigning in the kingdom of God simply means taking thoughts captive, deciding which to nurture, which to ignore. Casting away negative thinking is huge. See a better outcome. Faith without works is death. Let me see if I can show you. Here we go, right here, March 10th. Boom. Can a woman lead a congregation? Did a whole video. You want to see this video? I reposted it. It's on my X page. You can watch it or go into my category. But this video right here, which I'm not going to play right now, 2020. I mean, this is what I said. I said that you're going to have to deal with it. And why would that be a bad thing? I don't know. Why would that be a bad thing? I'll tell you, it's kind of a foolish thing to think that God is going to limit who he uses to one gender. To me, it seems foolish, but to other people, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much. But here I see a culmination of my life's work coming full circle. Me saying, you watch this system crumble. Boom, it crumbles. You watch, he's going to be, and then he's in jail. And you watch all this stuff happening. Did the same thing with P. Diddy. Did the same thing with him. I had stuff out about him a long time ago. Now, here's something that I want to point out. Do you know who Nick Sorter is? Have you ever heard of Nick Sorter? He's like a big influencer, I guess. I don't know. I've seen him a couple times. I don't know him well enough to judge the man or to really even weigh in on whether or not he's a good guy or not. But I do know that he posted something that was, well, let's just say it was mocking these Antifa protesters that are doing stupid things. I really wish that I would see more people talking to their children about not getting involved in foolishness like what they're doing. It's becoming so, well, damaging to not just the children and the people around, but all of us. Because every moron that acts out thinking because they've been brainwashed into thinking that they need to stand up for something or else because they've been told it. They've been fed this line of lies. Well, you have the other group fed this line of lies, making fun of them for getting arrested. So what ended up happening was some young, dumb kid, was talking tough with his face painted and everything else, and he ended up getting arrested, and the videos went around of him shaking and like a little baby. And Nick Sorter, let me show this to you. Well, he posted about it and made fun of it quite a bit. Laughed my ass off. He dumped red paint on the ice facility here, which you shouldn't do. It's a horrible thing. I mean, these people they're just lost. And he ends up getting arrested. So you see him here, and then you see him shaking and crying, and I mean, I don't know. To me, I think to myself, this is just bad acting. It just seems like it's bad. I'm not saying he's acting. Maybe he really was so scared like that. I don't know. What happened to his face? They cleaned him up? That's what usually happens, right? Your face is, I'm not saying that this is some psyop or anything, but his face is painted red. He has paint everywhere. But after he gets arrested, all of a sudden he's nice and clean. Where's the paint? Can someone tell me where? I want to know. Where's the paint? Where's the paint all over him from this? But no, I'm sure it's all real, And so anyway, so Nick Sorter, he posted this on his page, and I think if you look at his page, you'll probably see that I think it's still pinned. Look, it's pinned. Now, the irony of all this is that he's actually under arrest himself. He got arrested because he went down there. They're acting like idiots, so he's going down there to capture how idiotic they are, and so he can post and make fun of them and everything else. And I guess maybe he provoked somebody, or somebody provoked him, or whatever. Somehow, somewhere, he ended up, I guess, throwing his hands around, hit a couple people, or hit one person. I don't know the story, but now he's arrested, and everybody's hitting. I don't know who this guy is, by the way. So you got to tell me if you like Nick Sorter, if he's a good dude. But once again, I'm 54. I could probably go to one of these protests and find a way not to provoke people, and find a way maybe even to talk and question them and get them to think a different thing. There has to be a better way to communicate than owning the other party. There has to be, but we don't have that example today. So how do we have that happen? Well, you start by you doing it, me doing it. We start by starting here, and we start to show the world how to properly behave. Then we teach our children, and then our children then teach their friends. Because that's how it spreads. Problem is, everybody's been taken over by this zombie virus that has gone around, that it's very difficult to even know what to think today. We got a lot of people here already. That's wild. I'm grateful that you're all here. I thank you. If you haven't hit the like, I hope that you do. I hope that you share it around. I hope that you understand that things, they may be interesting, but they're interesting for a reason. How about this Netflix phenomenon that's going on right now? Check out the date where the CFO sold $3.14 million of shares. Wow. It's like Netflix has got a crystal ball all of a sudden. Or how about the director selling off $132 million? How's that for, wow, I bet you in the future the stock is going to tank for some reason? Or how about the director selling $31.35 million in common stock? Reed Hastings selling off how many shares? Don't you find that interesting? Don't you find that interesting? There's the big push right now. As they say, buy the dip. You know what happens? We're the dips. We're the dippity doodahs. We're the foolish ones. They sell everything when it's going well. They create a scandal that hurts a lot of people. So then a lot of people that own maybe the stock, they get worried and then they sell it off. And then what happens is the whales come back in and then they wait till it gets tanked so low and then they buy how much more. It's wild. Now, I'm not saying that they do this, but I am saying that that's pretty forward thinking. And of course, I am against all sorts of this stuff that they're doing, on these shows where, it's very, very clear that there's some kind of an agenda, which is sad to me because, I look forward to a more moral and simple time when, simple, like I've already had to deal with all the questions, Why do they have two dads? Why do they have two moms? Or why is that man dressed like a woman? Why do we have a month of a parade for, like all these things, like parent, these are not easy questions. And you also know that the people that are caught up in the mix of it, they may believe that they are, this or that or whatever, but they've been hurt and they're lost. They don't know what they're doing. Nobody really knows what they're doing. We're all lost. We're all broken. We're all suffering. But people are hating on each other because this is the way that we feel better about ourselves. So we're going to mock and we're going to own them. But do you think that maybe all of this stuff that we're seeing all the time, maybe we shouldn't be paying attention to it? Maybe it's a little bit manipulative in getting us to think and act a certain way. Because I'm telling you something, I've been saying this for a long time. You can leave me a comment because I know I've been telling everybody. I said, don't believe everything. Don't get manipulated. Don't follow them. When everybody was going to January 6th, I said, don't go. I said, all your favorite influencers are going to be like, go to the Capitol, like Nick Fuentes did. He didn't get in trouble. We're taking the Capitol, go get him, he said. He didn't get in trouble. These guys get millions of views. I know my heart. I reach those that the Lord allows to see and hear. You don't have the algorithm shoving me down anybody's throat. And isn't that a crying shame? Could you imagine a world where we try to talk and we try to understand each other and we stop thinking that we're better somehow? So now we see the religious system is corrupt. We see the media is corrupt. We see the government has been corrupt. And now we have the Grim Reaper at our door. This is what's written in the scriptures. And it's ironic because just the numbers lined up perfectly. Let me read this to you. A second angel sounded. This is Revelation 14. We're going to start with verse 6. I saw an angel flying in midair, and he had the eternal gospel to proclaim to all those who live on the earth, to every nation, to every tribe, language, and people. And he said with a loud voice, fear God and give him glory, you meatballs. Fear God, give him glory. We can't get away with the stuff we used to get away with if you don't have the nature of Christ, and you take the mark of the beast, which is being dumb and stubborn and arrogant and prideful. You are going to suffer, and you're going to go to jail, and you're going to deal with it. Fear God. I saw another angel flying in midair, crying the eternal gospel, which is good news, to proclaim to everyone, to every tribe, to every nation. He said with a loud voice, fear God and give him glory, because the hour of his judgment is now. Worship you. Worship him who made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and the springs of water. Worship God. Worship. The judgment is now. Worship God. You know what an angel is? It's a messenger, right? You're an angel. You can be crying this on your channel. Fear God. Give him glory. Worship God. Love. Forgive. You can do these things. A second angel followed and said, Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great, which made all the nations drink the maddening wine of her adulteries. A third angel followed them, saying, if anyone worships the beast and its image, if anybody worships their ego and acts like some egomaniac, some carnal jerk, if anyone worships the beast and its image and receives its mark on his forehead, which is symbolic of your thinking, and on their hands, they too will drink of the wine of God's wrath. The angels, they're messengers, they're telling you, you stop being a dummy or it's going to suck for you. It's going to suck for you. They made it out like it was going to be some terrible thing where you're tormented day and night forever and ever and ever. The word aeonos means a period of time. If you don't fear God, if you don't give God glory. And how do we give God glory? We give God glory by doing what God, the 10 Commandments is one way to give God glory. Any of them gives God glory. Don't kill somebody. That gives God glory. Don't steal. The day we're in, my friends, listen, you got all you need. And you're going to be blessed if you do the right thing. But if you don't, judgment's here. This is the day. The 144,000, it's a symbolic representation of all of us. Listen to the harp playing, because the 144,000, they have these harps. They play these harps, and they have a song that those in the world, they don't even know. They can't even sing it. Only the 144,000 sing this song during a time of great correction and judgment. And what's the song? It's joy, the harp. It's joy. Joy in the midst of the storm. I got joy. You got joy. So why don't you smash the like button, share the channel around, make sure you subscribe and tell your friends, get yourself some of the merch in the description of the video, and tell me what you thought of today's show. I love doing the live streams. I love being here with everybody. I'm glad you all showed up. Thank you for smashing the like on the way out if you haven't already. Leaving me a comment, it means something. Going into the description of the video, it means something. Go in and get yourself some truly free home products, right? I just cleaned the bathroom. That's what I do. I like to clean. You don't have to worry about toxins. Anything you do, it supports the work that I'm doing here, and it's appreciated. I just had to replace one thing after another. I go back to work, right? And I start to, I'm like, oh, good, we're getting out of debt. Everything's good. Everything's looking great. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we got to replace the roof. Oh, that's $9,000. Oh, you don't have financing? Oh, I can't use the card that I have the interest free on? So what I'm saying is I appreciate it. We all have trials. We all have things, but God always makes sure that we have the means to meet them. And you don't got to cut corners to do it. And you don't got to break the rules. All right. I love each and every one of you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Please